Hey YouTube, this is Mark from Northeast Indiana, and I'm back. I'm back in the shop. I have returned from vacation, and the shop is a mess. It's disorganized, and I have plans to kind of readdress all of this. But today, it's Sunday, April 7th. Is it the 7th? I'm not even sure. It's the day before the world ends with the eclipse, I guess. That's crazy. So, last video, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. I hope. Anyways, I'm back in the shop. I got back early this morning, as in 2 o'clock this morning. Slept for a few hours, not very much. I was up every couple hours with my dog. He was um, either needing to go out or he's checking on me or what, it's just been, I've been away for 10 days. And so Gunny he was excited. He wanted to play last night, this morning, I guess, when we got back. So I played with him for a while, and I think that just riled him up and kept him up overnight. So I drove straight through from Gulf Shores area in Alabama, back up here to Kosciuszko County in Indiana. And that originally was not the plan. We are going to make it a 2 day trip, but we just got to the point where we just were done driving and riding and said, let's just push it through. We'll suffer for a little bit, but I'm glad we did because I've been able to do some things today. And so, what have I done today? Well, out in the shop, just to give you an idea, I have a whole box of these old oil cans, and this is one that I cleaned in my ultrasonic cleaner. So I cleaned it up and got the inside all cleaned out, and I filled it with 3-in-1 oil. The reason why I'm using painter's tape on this is because I don't want to write on the can. I'm sure the marker would come off of there if I use acetone or something, but um, that's one of those tiny little projects that just needed to be addressed. And so I got that done and filled up. I've got this little Remington pocket knife that I showed a little while ago. Let's see if I get the Remington. There you go. I was using this to cut bait and do some other things down on the Gulf Coast. So it's been exposed to salt water and things. So I want to clean this up really good, get that lightly oiled, and get that back to where I don't have to worry about that knife. I'll probably strop it. It's still very, very sharp, but I was using it a lot. So hopefully you've gone back and watched some of the videos from down there. I wasn't going to post any videos, but man, I caught that one redfish, and I'm not like a big fisherman or anything, and that was so much fun. That redfish was just under the size of what they call a bull red, where you would have to release it. So it's between 16 and 26 inches long, and it's on the top end of that. And I'm glad I was checking the regulations and everything, was able to keep that fish, and delicious. My word, I guess if I lived down there, was doing that type of fishing quite often and catching those fish, I probably would have released it because it was a good sized fish. But I went ahead and kept it, as well as another one that I caught that was probably like 17, 18 inches long. Real good eating size. The meat on those fish is delicious. I'm telling you what. I fried some up one night, and my wife fried some up the next night with some potatoes and stuff, and saved a lot of money so we didn't have to go out to eat. So that was good. Just had a ball fishing down there. I caught, I think it was 5 new species of fish. So I caught the red fish. I think it might also be referred to as a red drum. Someone correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm talking about two different species, but I'm pretty sure that was a redfish. So I caught two of those. I caught the one catfish that stabbed me in the chest. Go back a couple videos if you haven't watched that yet. Um, yeah, that's still a little tender right here. I was noticing this morning that it all really, I have a bruise. I have a bruise about this big on my chest, and that's how hard that fish hit and how much blood must have collected underneath the skin there. Um, Good time. So I caught, I think I caught like five catfish, kept one. I caught I believe it's called an Atlantic stingray, little guy, decent size. Um, so, that was released, obviously. All the other catfish were released except for the second one that I caught, which we ate. Delicious, by the way. Man, I almost want to move down south. Caught some croakers, used them for bait. Um, Probably anywhere from like the 4-inch size all the way up. I had one that was about 8 inches long. Um, threw threw the majority of those back. They were, I probably caught between 2 and 3 dozen of those. Just a lot of fun to catch. Caught a mullet, very small, threw that back, and caught two whiting. And I released one because it was very small, and the other one I kept and ate, and that also was very delicious. Just flaked apart really nicely. I ate it fresh, So, anyways, that's rehashing vacation. But all of that to say, we had a great time. I'm relaxed. I don't feel stressed. Ironically, I had no headaches during vacation whatsoever. And I get a lot of headaches at work. And I'm not just talking like virtual type headaches, like, oh, this job's a headache. I'm talking like serious stress headaches. And it was nice not to have any of those. Although the traffic coming back yesterday was atrocious. People are idiots driving. I saw actually came up, almost was involved in a pileup. A guy just stopped on Interstate 65 south of Nashville. And three cars went into the median to avoid him. And I don't know if he was trying to brake check a guy or what. Thankfully, I saw it in time, but it was heavy traffic. The whole way, probably well into Kentucky. We had just heavy traffic, and it reminds me why I don't want to be around people. I hate to say that. I guess in large groups, especially when they're driving 30,000-pound missiles, and I was doing like 9 over, and people were passing me like I was standing still. I could not understand it. Like, and then what would happen is they would just come flying up on people, and then they'd slam their brakes on. Well, that has a chain effect, an accordion type effect. And wow, just glad to be done with that. Thankfully, the last hour of my trip, once I got north of Indianapolis, um, coming up US 31 and towards Peru, and then I take 24 east, and then come up the highway that I live on. The traffic, at that time it was after midnight, 1 o'clock, something like that, and it was just like I like it. Didn't hardly see anybody. So, anyways, enough of that. Glad to be home. Went to the gun shop today, of course. They called me while I was down on vacation, and they said they had my rifle done that I dropped off for them to clean and just kind of go through it. It's something my father-in-law has given me. My father-in-law is not doing well as far as his state of mind. So it's something I want to hang on to. Let me show it to you. This is a Mossberg, and the model is 430 22. It's obviously empty. Safety is on. It's tube fed. Um, Good little squirrel rifle. Now, I call this a gold trigger, and I think I just call it that because my father-in-law called it that. I don't think that's the actual name for it, um, but a nice little gun, walnut stock and forearm here, checkered. Um, just a neat gun, and they went through it, cleaned it up for me. I've got to adjust my eye relief on the scope. I got to bring it back a little bit. It's a little bit different than what my father-in-law's was. I don't quite get in that far on the gun. It's got a Weaver scope on it, a three, looks like a 3x6. So good little squirrel gun. And so I got that over at the gun shop, went and picked that up. And I appreciate the guys at Two Bear Arms over in Etna Green getting that completed for me and cleaned up. And that one's ready to go for squirrel season. Should be August 15th, looking down the road. Now, some other things, I was going through one of their clearance bins and picked up some stuff that was 25% off. Things you just really don't have enough of, I guess. But a 22 caliber rifle cleaning kit. I know I've got a cleaning kit that's 22 caliber, but picked up an extra one because tomorrow's the end of the world, so might as well have something to clean my gun with. So picked that one up. I picked up a 22 caliber pistol cleaning kit. And the reason why I did that is because of that Super Wrangler, that Ruger Super Wrangler that I bought. I'm going to take care of that with that. And speaking of that, I picked up an extra set of grips that were on clearance. They're factory grips. So if anything ever happens to my factory grips, I can replace those. And all three of those were 25% off. So it's kind of hard for me not to pick those up, and it's pretty easy for me to justify it to my wife. I just say, hey, I saved all this money, 25% off. So but let's talk about where we're going from here now that I'm back. I've had some people ask about the stone wheel grinding mechanism. When am I going to get that done? I hope to get that done, get back on that this weekend coming up. I've got one weekend before I go on call again for that next weekend. And so I'm hoping to get that wood milled um, and hopefully get that assembled over the weekend. I've got several projects I got to get going now that spring is kind of like right around the corner. I think tomorrow's supposed to be up in the 70s. Today, you'll probably hear in the shop creak. I don't know, this mic might be canceling that noise out, but it's pretty blustery. It's 50 degrees maybe. It's rainy, so it's kind of chilly. Although here in the shop, it's not too bad. I don't have a heat on or anything, but it's not bad out here. Um, but I got to get my mower maintained, get the oil changed in that, go through everything, change out the air filter, make sure the deck's good, make sure the blades are sharpened. Um, that should be, one afternoon or maybe an evening project. So look forward to that. I have a bench that I need to finish for my wife. Um, I have a carrying case very similar to, now this is the carrying case that I made for my wood carving sets, my chisels and gouges and knives and stuff. So I've got my V gouges in here, and then on this side, can't see them upside down. I've got my carving knives. I've got gloves, things like that. And so I'm going to make a case, a homemade case, wooden, somewhat like this, but much nicer. This one's kind of rough, but I like it. But I'm going to make that for my Super Wrangler. I'm going to have something I can actually carry to the range, rather than just buy, a plastic one or whatever. I want to make something homemade, so that'll be a neat project. Um, Trying to think what all else I have going on. I've got a knife project that I'm working on. I've got a scythe, an antique scythe that I picked up that I'm working on. And so lots of things going on here at the shop. I'll keep everybody updated, but I have not forgot about that grinding wheel assembly. I just want to make sure everyone is aware of that. That will be finished up hopefully this month, the month of April, and we'll get that up and running. And maybe I can try sharpening some knives or something like that on it, or some tools. Uh, Speaking of which, um, let me pause the video. For you, it's just going to be a second. For me, I got to go grab this thing. But I want to show you what I picked up at a sale. Stay with me. Just like that, we're back. I have here a tool chest. This was empty at this very large sale that we went to. However, let me see if I can show you this bag. This Makita bag was also at the sale. It's like a tool bag, Makita, and it was full of tools. And I was trying to make a deal with this guy on some stuff. And, there's nothing special. Tons of screwdrivers. Probably, I want to say 75 to 100 screwdrivers in all different shapes and conditions. A lot of them are pretty rough, but would be perfect for jobs where, doesn't really matter what happens to the tool if I use it. So I separated them out. This is all, see if I can show you. This is all Phillips screwdrivers. Well, they don't spill it. And then in the case itself are all the standard screwdrivers, and the odds and ends. I have one clamp, a big C clamp, and let's see, there was a couple other things I wanted to show you. Old camping hatchet. My dad had one just like this. I don't know who made it. I don't see any maker's marks on it. But it's nothing special, but I would say it's probably from like maybe the 70s or 80s, maybe earlier than that, but I'm not really sure. But if you have any idea, let me know. Drop it down in the comments. The way that the handle is, I'm just assuming it's not as old as what some people would think, but that was in there. And then this nice little, I think this is like a 2-pound peening hammer, and I'll use that blacksmithing. Yeah, and then there's a couple wrenches in there and stuff, pliers, but mostly screwdrivers, and $12. $12 for the box, the tools, the hatchet, the hammer, the clamp. There's Craftsman screwdrivers, like the original Craftsman stuff, like the nicer, Craftsman. So I'm going to clean these up. Then there's just the Walmart brands and stuff like that, or, Ace Hardware type stuff. Real happy with that though. $12, can't go wrong. So that was an acquisition. Probably be throwing those screwdrivers in that ultrasonic cleaner that I have, and getting those cleaned up, and just, I'll just have a tray of them. I'll throw some in the truck. I'll throw some, might make a little toolbox for my mower. You know, if I lose them, I lose them, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And I could keep my nicer sets for the stuff that I do and my maintenance around here at the house. Anyways, real fun time. I'm back. Projects are going to keep going. Wanted you guys to be aware of that. I've gone on long enough. I do have another video right after this one that I'm going to put up, and it's a video in which I have some questions on another item that I bought at the this huge sale, garage sale. So if you can help me with that, please do so. Want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm just blown away by that. I think that's really cool. And thank you to everyone who's leaving comments and pointing me in directions and asking questions and all that. I've read them. I read all of the comments. I try to get to at least give you a thumbs up or a comment, and I just really appreciate that. So if you would, please like the video, comment below if you know what type of hatchet that is, and share the video if you like. Certainly subscribe. The majority of people that view my videos don't subscribe or are not subscribed, and just if you appreciate the content, I would appreciate the subscription. So let's go over 1,000 subscribers and see what happens there. So all right, long enough. Get out to your shop, do something new. Don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to fail, because more often than not, you are going to succeed. This is Mark. See you on the next one. Take care.